Okay. Just about right. Best backed is Catch-A-Ruby. Stand by. They're off. Good level start. Alley 2 beginning quickly was Roll With Tricky, who rolls to the early lead, and searching forward fast out of the machine was Always Alexis, who was nicely into stride as well. And they level peg after 150 metres, followed by Catch-A-Ruby, who'll race in third position on the outside. One out, one back, and Magira Maggie's over on the inside in fourth. Followed then by on the outside next of all was Who's This Shady Lady, who'll balance up one out and two back in the moving line with Relapse inside next. Sand Safari is back next to last, and Pure Laughter is back last of all with a lead time in 27.3. At the post, 2 circuits left before them. Always Alexis up on the outside of Roll With Tricky, strides up. Followed then by Magira Maggie, locked away in third position behind the leader, with Catch-A-Ruby poised fourth on the outside. Relapses fifth over on the marker line next, racing in centre field with Who's a Shady Lady in fifth or sixth on the outside, still one out and two back, with Sand Safari next to last, and Pure Laughter whipped them in and some 18 metres off the speed. 32.8 the first quarter of the final mile. And up on the outside, Always Alexis draws within about 2 metres in advance. Over on the fence, Roll With Tricky, followed then by Catch-A-Ruby. Still third and fourth on the outside. One out, one back, with Magira Maggie locked up tight over on the fence. Relapse in behind it. Then came Who's a Shady Lady. Sand Safari's next to last, and Pure Laughter still pulling overtime. Back last of all, and still 15 metres off the pace setters. They jazzed up that next quarter, 30.8, and on the turn out of the straight, 6.50 left before them. Always Alexis up on the outside of Roll With Tricky. Still go stride for stride together. Magira Maggie still camped third, 4 metres away. Followed then by Catch-A-Ruby, who's under the shillelagh in fourth. Relapses fifth. Who's a Shady Lady's hooking to the outside. Clear over Sand Safari, and Pure Laughter whipped them in, and still 25 metres off the pace setters. 29.1. Back straight quarter. Always Alexis drew about a long neck in advance over Roll With Tricky. Still there railing through, and shortly afterwards Roll With Tricky hit the front again over Always Alexis. Who's a Shady Lady works into it, followed then by Magira Maggie, and Relapses using inside runs. They straighten up. Roll With Tricky led. Who's a Shady Lady? Always Alexis is still there, but Roll With Tricky is the leader in the shadows, and they'll just land the prize. Roll With Tricky beat in second position Who's a Shady Lady, and third Magira Maggie was there with Always Alexis, and then Relapse, followed then by at the head of the rest Sand Safari, with also Pure Laughter, and Catch-A-Ruby, one of the last runners in around 30.2 home and approximately 202.2.